We've talked about the HTC One X and the HTC One S quite a few times since they came out on the website. Now it's time to talk about the baby brother. Here's the HTC One V. This is US Cellular's newest Android smartphone, and it's packing that familiar design that we've seen from the Hero and some of the other devices in HTC's lineup. It's coming in at $129.99, but the specs aren't quite up to par with the One S and the One X. Is this the best bang for your buck on US Cellular, or should you go with something else? I'm Aaron from PhoneDog.com, and this is a full review of the HTC One V. We talked a lot about the HTC One X and the HTC One S on PhoneDog, but now it's time to talk about that kind of mythical third device that was announced at Mobile World Congress earlier in the year in Barcelona. Here's the HTC One V, available now at US Cellular for $129.99, and also available at Virgin Mobile if prepaid is your thing. Special thanks to US Cellular for hooking us up with a review unit. Special thanks to Best Buy Mobile as well for hooking us up with awesome phones that we give to you in the One Paw Bandit game. When you go into Best Buy Mobile to get your new smartphone, you'll walk out working. They'll help you set up your email, your web, your contacts, your settings, and more, so when you walk out the door, you're good to go. Let's take a look here. One V preserves that iconic HTC design. It's thinned down a little bit, it's lost some weight, been on a diet, and has that telltale hump despite losing a little bit of the pounds and a little bit of the thickness. In terms of weight, 4.06 ounces here, about 0.36 inches thick, and a 3.7 inch display. So in terms of specs, not quite as robust as the One X and the One S, but still a nice device, and at $129.99 on contract, it's definitely worth considering, particularly given its uniform aluminum body here. You've got a micro USB charging port over on the left side, a volume rocker on the right side, power button, and 3.5mm headphone jack up top alongside a notification light. Then down at the bottom, you got your back button, your home button, and your recent applications button. Now this thing is packing Android 4.0 with HTC Sense version 4. So software-wise, it's packing a very similar suite of stuff as the One X and the One S. That said, they've stripped down some things because of the solar, single core processor here. You can immediately tell it when you go to recent apps, for example, and scroll through here, and you can see a little bit different than the HTC look and feel we've gotten accustomed to on the Evo 4G LTE and the other One devices. Otherwise, some of the kind of gaudy, I don't want to say gaudy, but crazy transition effects, some of the carousel stuff has been taken out to make room, given the fact that the processor, in terms of clock speed and in terms of overall speed, is a little bit slower. So let's take a look at what comes in the device itself here. You got Amazon out of the gate, Amazon Kindle, Amazon MP3, App Store, daily perks from US Cellular, City ID. You got IMDb out of the gate, HTC Hub, some Google stuff, Google Plus integration here, mobile TV with US Cellular. And then over here, SoundHound, Tone Room Deluxe, Uno, TuneIn Radio, Zappos, Your Navigator, which is US Cellular's version of the Telenav solution. But you can see here when I scroll from frequent to downloads, for example, it doesn't do that carousel effect that you come to know and either love or hate on the One X, the One S, and the Evo 4G LTE. Otherwise, menu structure very similar here. You can see the menu button, the Play Store, and then search. And overall application structure is pretty similar as well. 5 home screens here, a difference from the 7 that you see on the other devices. And you don't have the ability to pinch to get to the individual home screens. That said, you can easily scroll over and move back and forth between those. Now down here, your dock, and then of course when you turn it on, you can see it comes with that same unlock screen that you've seen from other devices that are running since version 4. Now, let's jump right into the personalization menu, because I want to show you there are some minor setting differences as well. Not anything crazy by any means. You can still change the skin on HTC by default right now, but you can go to HTC Hub and get additional skins if you so desire. Then, of course, aluminum. We can apply aluminum, for example, and let's see how long that takes once we hit apply. So it's loading up right now. And obviously, you saw that the background changed as well. And then, of course, the dock down here is a little bit different also, as is this, and then the top part as well. Here you can see digital roaming. I'm not in a US Cellular coverage area. You do get the shortcuts to settings and to clear out the notifications bar as well. And personalize, we'll go into lock screen shortcuts. Home screen, wallpaper, you can see that here as well. Home screen, you don't get the ability to change the lock screen style, though, as you can see. You don't get the ability to add weather, for example, or to add your photo stream like you do on the more robust HTC devices. So that's something to keep in mind. If that's something that appealed to you about the other devices, perhaps you should go with the One X on AT&T, the One S on T-Mobile, or the Evo 4G LTE on Sprint, which is just now coming in a white color, according to press release from this week. Otherwise, let's take a look at messaging. Forgive me while I pull this out and remove a message. We're going to delete that. And then we're going to go in here and see this little spam message that came in earlier. Cancers, book your free birthday party now. Express entry, unlimited guests, free drinks, free bottle of champagne. We're going to write back and say, the quick brown fox loves him some booze. Quick brown fox loves him some booze. Not some boogie. Booze. 3.7-inch display here. HTC Sense keyboard pre-installed with the ability to do, or at least you should have the ability to do swipe. I believe I disabled that. Let's double check on that because I'm not quite sure. That may be something they removed with going from a more robust device to the One V. They may not have included that feature. You never quite know until you go and look. Let's see. HTC Sense input. And let's take a look. Sound feedback vibration. Looks like advanced settings. Let's see what we've got here. It's like you don't have that option. So I stand corrected. Actually, you do not have the trace input option rather that you have on the One X and the One S. So we'll go back into messaging. We'll start back up where we left off. It was saved as draft. Quick Brown Fox loves him some booze. And take a look. Even though it is a 3.7-inch display, it's easy to hold in the hand. And because of the ergonomics of this device, I find it relatively easy to type on. Then again, like I said, you have landscape mode, portrait mode, and out of the gate, the Sense keyboard is the only one that comes pre-installed. That said, you can download some great alternatives from Google Play, SwiftKey, Ice Cream Sandwich keyboard for free, and more. And then, of course, you've got your settings here and your attachments where you can attach stuff and go from there. Let's take a look at the browser as well. Again, not in the US cellular coverage area, so take these overall speeds with a grain of salt. These are not indicative of US cellular's overall 3G speeds. This is not a 4G device, so if you are in a US cellular coverage area, you're considering this device, and you want 4G, go with something like the Aviator or the Samsung Galaxy S3. As of now, those are the two that support 4G LTE on US cellular. Aviator is essentially a Droid Charge. And then, of course, we all know what the Galaxy S3 is. It's been covered and covered and covered and covered and covered again as part of our summer coverage. So loading up PhoneDog.com right now, and even with the transition, or even with the loading of the page, rather, the transition effects are nice and smooth with little to no lag. A nice testament to that 1 gigahertz single-core processor, because you hear that and you kind of think, oh, this is going to be slow. And there's definitely some lag from time to time, but again, keeping in mind the price point of this device, and then keeping in mind the overall build quality. Really a fantastic build here with this unibody aluminum or unibody metal and just nice look and feel. Very nice device. Nice to have the humpback as well. The hump as well, not the humpback, obviously. It's Friday the 13th. What can I say? It's bound to make those weird little errors like that in videos. PhoneDog is loading up. Let's give this some sweet time that it deserves, because everybody gets excited about PhoneDog, right? View desktop site, enable flash player, just to show you some of the settings as well. And while this is loading up and taking its sweet time, let's see what else we've got up here. Updates found. I need to download some new updates to my applications. I'm going to take a sip of tea as well. That's pretty delicious. This is taking a long time. Okay, clearly that's taking too long. Gotta love the power of Sprint's 3G network in most major metro areas. Anyway, back to what we were talking about personalization, because this device, HTC, does do a great job in the personalization department. You can see stuff in things like the contacts. So let's go to people, for example, and take a look here at Bill Stevenson. So we'll load up Bill Stevenson, and you can see here the picture. So it's got some ice cream sandwich influence to it. And you've got the name here, you've got menu, and then you got your call mobile stuff. What I love about this is I can go to Thread and see when I last text messaged Bill Stevenson, or when I last emailed Bill Stevenson, or the call history between us. I really enjoy that feature. It's nice because if you do talk to somebody on a regular basis, you have the ability to go through and pick and choose. You know, I could say, oh, I called Bill on Tuesday, I emailed him on Thursday, I text messaged him yesterday, whatever the case may be, and then updates and gallery over here. So personal information management, HTC continues to do a great job. And then over here as well, same thing, although call application looks a little bit different. You'll see the numbers are a different color. Then you've got your recent calls along with your contacts over here. So I've just dialed some sample numbers there, and you can see my full range of contacts. Steven Johnson is a demo number that I have, by the way, and then the rest are fake. And then over here, enter name or number, and I've got my menu options right here. So all in all, pretty easy to use layout, but the personal information management stuff has always been great on HTC, and it continues on their latest build of devices.